Now, a key dam in Kherson on the banks of the Dnipro River is seen as the latest turning point in the Russia-Ukraine war. The dam was blown by up to 24 hours ago, and this has sent a torrent of floodwaters into the war zone, as you can see. Now, both Russia and Ukraine have accused each other of being the architects of the dam's destruction. However, neither have provided any proof to back their claims. Let's tell you more about this dam and the breach that has opened the floodgates of suffering. Let's begin with the significance of the dam and why its destruction is a major cause for concern. Now, first, because of its strategic location of the dam. It is located about 30 kilometers east of the city Kherson. This is the Novakhovka Dam, which was breached. This is the Dnipro River through which the dam was breached. Now, we're talking about the strategic location of the dam. Now, this area, the Kherson, was recaptured by the Ukrainian forces in late 2022. Now, bursting this dam has led to the water, the Dnipro River came gushing down, as you can see, and that led to water flooding the settlements around this area and around Kherson as well. Now, nearly 20,000 people have been evacuated from the Ukraine-controlled region and around 25,000 affected in the Russian-controlled region as well. Now, this dam holds back a huge reservoir, two areas. Now, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant towards the north and the Crimean Peninsula towards the south. Now, water from this reservoir, the Novakhovka Dam, supplies the Crimean Peninsula to the south, like I just mentioned here, and the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant towards the north of the dam. And now the water from the dam cools the Russian-held Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. As of now, the IAEA says that there is no safety risk to the nuclear power plant, and it should have enough water to cool its reactors for some months from a separate pond. Let's also now tell you about the latest satellite images that show the extent of the damage caused by the dam, as you can see. Now, the shots show the effects of the dam blast and how the floodwaters have washed away many villages in the area. There are two contrasting images here. The first one before the dam was breached, and the second one, the aftermath of when the dam was breached, leading to floodwaters in the area. The dam blast has led to water breaching the banks of the Dnipro River, triggering flood warning in various areas. Now, this led to a large-scale exodus, and nearby villages have also been forced to evacuate. According to the official reports, 40,000 people and 80 settlements were in the flood zone and are at risk as of now. Moving on, let's also now tell you as to why the ongoing war has now become one on the infrastructure and the economy. Now, on September 22nd, the Nord Stream 1 and 2 pipelines were ruptured in an undersea explosion. The explosions occurred in the economic zones of Sweden and Denmark. Now, both Ukraine and Russia have accused each other for the blast of the Nord Stream pipeline till today. In October 2022, the Crimean Bridge was blown up. Now, the 19-kilometer bridge was seen as a symbol of the Kremlin's annexation of the Crimean Peninsula. The Kerch Bridge, as you can see right now, linked Crimea to Russia. And the latest attack, which just took place 24 hours ago. Now, the Novakhovka Dam was breached, resulting in massive floods. For more on this, we're now being joined by a retired colonel in British Army from Latvia. He is also former advisor to the Defense Minister of Ukraine and a fellow at Baltic Security Foundation. Thank you so much for joining us on WION, sir.
Thank you very much.
Now, sir, we've seen it's been more than a year since the war began. We saw massive devastation and bloodshed, and now it looks like that the ongoing war has become one on the infrastructure and the economy.
Indeed, it has. Well, because the Russians have not been able to actually defeat the Ukrainian army, so they're looking for any way possible to actually to change the course of the war to their favor.
Right, sir, but let's also talk about the timing of the explosion. It comes just as Ukraine was planning its counter-offensive, rather. Do you think that the explosion of the dam has jeopardized Ukraine's counter-offensive plans?
I don't think it's jeopardized them. I think it may have made it a bit more difficult. I mean, you need to understand why Russia blew the dam, and it did blow the dam. My ex-colleague is only 3 kilometers away from it, in a battalion in Kherson. And he said that before the dam exploded, there was a huge amount of activity on the other side in Russia and on the Russian side. So they knew something was coming. But this is I mean, economically, it makes a huge amount of problems for Ukraine in this area, because it's going to make a lot of problems. Firstly, with watering the wheat, because it's destroyed the canal around there. But also, I mean, as you said, huge amounts of people are going to have to be moved, especially on the Russian side. But the Russians needed to do this because they believed that the Ukrainian counterattack was going to come across the river, which it probably isn't. And they needed to flood the islands that were down in between the Russian and the Ukrainian side, which the Ukrainians have been moving into because they wanted to get their artillery closer to the Russian side to be able to fire further on the other side of the river. So this is a Russian activity to block the Ukrainians from actually attacking in that area.
Right, so you do think that it were the Russians that...
Oh, yeah, there's no question. They've had the explosives on it for well over a year, and they've been threatening to blow it for quite a long time. I mean, there is absolutely no fundamental reason at all why the Ukrainians would want to blow this and actually kill their own people, which it's done. They're not that sort of character. And the big marker is that it flooded the zoo. And Ukrainians love animals. There is no way they would kill their own animals. They just don't do things like that. So this is very much the Russians trying to block the Ukrainian counterattack. And on this part, they've successfully done so.
Right, so we'll of course be tracking the implications in the aftermath of the crucial dam that was just exploded 24 hours ago. But thank you so much for joining us on WION and sharing your insights with us.
Not at all, thank you.